Church at the Red Door. Welcome to our midweek Reaching Out devotional videos. And today I have a special guest that's going to be delivering the devotion for us. And I want to introduce this particular CRD family member, Elisa Morgan. Elisa and her husband Evan live in Denver, Colorado. And they spend a few of the winter months here with us at Church at the Red Door. You might have heard of Elisa. She has been writing for the Daily Bread for quite some time, and maybe you've read one of her devotions. I'm sure a number of us get the Daily Bread in our electronic mailbox every day. She's also been past CEO of an organization called MOPS, or Mothers for Preschoolers. So it's a real privilege to have Elisa join us today and bring us the devotion. And so let me just turn this over now to Elisa Morgan. Thank you and God bless.
I'm Elisa Morgan. Softly and tenderly, Jesus is calling. It's a familiar hymn, isn't it? Well, the very first disciples were called to Jesus. In fact, we read in Matthew chapter 4, let's pick it up in verse 18. As Jesus was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, called Peter, and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come, follow me, Jesus said, and I will send you out to fish for people. You know, the call to Jesus begins with just that, to him. And most of us understand that fully well. The passage goes on in verse 21. Going on from there, Jesus saw two other brothers, James, the son of Zebedee, and his brother, John. They were in a boat with their father Zebedee preparing their nets. Jesus called them. We get it. A call to Jesus is a call to relationship, to intimacy, to let him love us the way he designed us to be loved, to love him back by serving him in our everyday. We've been called, you and myself. Jesus has beckoned us into a life-changing relationship of grace with himself. And that call on our heart has beckoned us into life-changing actions and choices, sometimes sacrifices, often a whole new way of living, in how we invest our friendships, our marriages, in how we raise our children, in how we work, how we play, how we celebrate, how we worship. We're familiar with the call to Jesus, and we scurry to respond. When Jesus calls us to himself, we respond by coming. But a call to Jesus is also a call from something else. When we go back and look at the disciples in the rest of this passage, we see that in order to respond to Jesus, to his call, they also had to leave something else. Come, follow me, in verse 19, Jesus said, and I'll make you fisher of people. And then in verse 20, at once they left their nets and they followed him. And then down, and he goes on to see James and John. Jesus called them. And in verse 22, immediately they left the boat. They left their father, and they followed him. It's interesting to think about that, isn't it? That every call to Jesus is a call from something else. Net, boat, father, friends. In Luke chapter 5, another gospel that tells the story of the calling of the first disciples, in verse 11, we're told that they left everything and followed Jesus. So every call to Jesus is a call from something else. We come by going. And when Jesus called you, what did you need to leave in order to follow? Maybe home, maybe singleness, maybe a job, maybe comfort, maybe pain, maybe control. Or in these days, maybe normality, maybe crowds, maybe even church gatherings. While it begins as a pivotal shift from just one thing to another, Jesus' call continues every single day, in every single season of our lives, no matter what's happening in us or in the world around us. A call to himself woos us to a deeper intimacy, more understanding, a greater embrace of who he's making us to be, and his call from everything else weans us away from things even good and wonderful pastimes and investments which may no longer serve a good purpose, because his ultimate purpose is to bring us into an intimate relationship, an intimacy that he died to provide. Every call to Jesus is a call from something else. So come, go, follow, leave, embrace, release, softly and tenderly. Jesus is calling.